Kpoppin, getting your K-pop fix with DJ Isa.
Ugly Truth. All right, so it's time for us to have Sooyoon in the studio.
Hello.
And I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Oh, and I also loved your hat, even though you took it off.
Yeah. My hat.
All right, so how have you been?
Good. But it's been kind of hard to sleep these days.
You were telling me.
Yeah, because the weather is kind of weird. There are like thunders.
Yeah, we've been
rain.
having rainstorms, sporadic rainstorms too. And actually my house is very cool. I think it's the way my house is positioned. I get a nice breeze through my house, so actually
awesome.
the past couple days it's been cold for me.
Oh, really?
Which is awkward because outside it's very warm.
Yeah.
But it is the weather where if you have your blankets on, it's hot, but if you don't have your blankets on, it's cold. But if you use a summer blanket, it's cold. If you use like a spring blanket or a winter blanket, it's like really hot.
Yeah.
So it's one of those weathers. So I guess it would be hard to,
Fall asleep.
It is. But it's Friday, so at least you have the weekend to look forward to kind of rest up a little bit.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, your commercial's out.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yes, of course. I showed our entire staff, and everyone was
5
like,
seconds.
"Ooh, yeah." It was a little short.
Yeah. I guess that's like the whole concept
yeah,
of
it
the
is a
CF.
concept.
Like it's like a teaser after teaser. Yeah.
But it was a little too short. I was just like, wait, it's over. But it's a great commercial. How long did it take to shoot the commercial?
Maybe 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, not bad.
It was right before I came here.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
You said that you shot a commercial the last time you were here.
Yeah.
All right, so it is time for Ugly Truth, and normally we like to talk a little bit more, but our stories are actually very long today,
Yeah.
which we love, though.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is good, because Sooyoon and I keep telling you guys, it's better with more detail than little. Yeah, because if you send in little conversation or a little detail, like, so I like this dude, it's been about 2 years, what should I do? We're like, give me more information. So we're glad that you guys are giving us detailed information. So let's go with our first stories from the USA.
All right, it's from Jane.
Okay.
Recently, my friend and I had a fight.
Okay.
My friends are always making a joke about me and this one guy. I just took it as a joke, and I didn't think of it as a big deal. One day, I decided to do it to my friends. They all took it as a joke, except this one girl. She got all mad, and she said, "You are such an annoying
Beep.
female dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up and never talk to me again. By the way, I'm going to tell everyone who you like." Then starting from then, she always ignores me and she makes rumors about me. On the last day of school, our class went to the beach. This one guy in my class called me and said, "Why are you mad at that person, her? It seems like you are always mad at her. You guys should become friends again." I told him that I wasn't mad at her and she was just ignoring me. Then he said, whatever, but just become friends. If you don't, I'll tell everyone who you like." Good thing she only told me who you like. Sorry, but I'll be on her side and I'll help her to spread rumors about you. Also, you should stop acting like you're the most important thing in this planet, because you're not. If you aren't that stupid, you should know that I'm blackmailing you. Honestly, I can't hold it anymore. She's turning everyone against me. If I become friends with her, she'll get mad at me for a stupid reason again, and she'll just use me again. But if I don't, I'll be a loner since everyone is on her side. Can you guys please help me? Should we continue being friends?
All right, so it's Team A, Team B this week. Team A, don't have to be friends with that kind of people. Take time and make new friends. B, don't make trouble with them. Just keep distance, but still be friends like they want. I'm going to go with A.
I'm in a dilemma.
You're in a dilemma.
Yeah. Well, so her friend is kind of mad at her for teasing her, I guess.
But But that's the thing. Actually, earlier this week, it was our topic for our Wednesday segment about teasing. And it is a very fine line between bullying and teasing.
Yeah.
But I did say that it is good to laugh at yourself, especially if you are... As you get older, even more so.
Yeah.
If you know your flaws, laughing about it is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you know you have a unique laugh, instead of being embarrassed about it, embrace it and be like, oh my God. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're laughing. Be like, yeah, that's me. Which I know is not easy.
Yeah.
I grew up being a very shy person as well, even though my listeners don't believe me. I used to be very shy. But I'd have to say, I don't know if whoever you like is true, Jane. And I'm guessing school, it's talking about you guys are either in high school or college.
Yeah.
But that whole person that you supposedly like, if they're threatening you with that and it's not true, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
We actually talked about this Wednesday. And I want to kind of get your opinion on it.
All right.
So I gave an example of one of our staff members.
Yeah.
So one of our hosts kind of was teasing her.
Yeah.
Said, oh my goodness, I saw you last Friday with so-and-so.
Yeah.
Her reaction was huge.
Oh, really?
She was like, oh, and she got bright red. And everybody was just like, what?
Yeah.
What happened? But that's the thing. The way she reacted, everybody kind of wanted to pitch in and kind of tease her.
Yeah.
If she was just like, so?
Yeah, right.
What's the big deal? Yeah, I was there. Well, you were there too. Why didn't you just say hi?
Yeah.
If she would have said it that way, we'd be like, oh, okay. Cool.
It's like boring.
It's boring. Exactly. We don't get the reaction we want. And I'm thinking that regardless of how it started, the girl that's starting this, let's say we're going to name her Annie.
Yeah,
so
right.
Jane, Annie. Annie's the one that's not your friend right now. No matter what she has on you, if you don't really react to it, so even the guy that's supposed to be like, just become friends with her again, I'm blackmailing you, just be like, go for it.
Which is like really stupid.
Exactly. Oh, we're blackmailing you.
Oh, I really hope this is like in elementary school and junior because this guy is like super immature.
Exactly. If this is college, this guy really needs to get a life.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I'm guessing that this friend Annie, or we're naming her Annie, but
Exactly.
I'm guessing she really must have liked Jane as a friend before, because I guess she's that hurt by her that she's willing to do all the, like she's willing to make her guy friend do this to her,
True.
She's like putting effort.
She's putting an effort. And, honestly, Jane, it is a little thing that happens during school only, though. Trust me.
Seriously.
College gets a little bit bigger, but high school, it's so small. Even though you go to a big high school, it's so small. And in that world, you feel that if you're a loner for the rest of your school year, it's going to be like the worst thing in the world. You're going to be the biggest loner. But trust me, it doesn't happen that way. You're always going to find friends. I actually did this in junior high. So what happened is I had my best friend up until 5th grade. She left the school.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my BF anymore. So I didn't have my BFF, and she wasn't there to support me anymore. So I was lost for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. Each year, my group of friends kept changing.
I see.
So like one year, I was just kind of by myself, kind of hung out with the guys, kind of didn't, was just very by myself. And then 7th grade, I was kind of, quote, accepted by the cool girls at the school. So it was kind of like the movie Mean Girls. I was kind of like, accepted into the popular girls circle. But I really didn't like the way that they treated everybody. They were making fun of girls in my class. They would put them down. They'd be like, oh, did you brush your teeth this morning? Oh, ew, like... Here's some mouthwash. I was like, that's a little rude. So I didn't like the way that they were acting. So mid 7th grade, I just kind of naturally started hanging out with what they considered was not so popular girls. And then I got criticized for it. But towards 8th grade, everybody was friends. Like, it just all passed over. And then we all went to like different high schools. And I came to Korea. So it does seem that school circles are going to make or break you, but
they don't.
So for me, regardless of how much your friend is hurt, if she's going to go to these lengths to go against you for whatever reason, for something that she also did to you, but because she got it back at her, she's like, oh my God, how could you do that to me, even though she's been doing that to you? I'd say you don't deserve to be her friend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to still go with A, but Sooyoon, you're still kind of borderline. So
I would go with A too.
okay.
Yeah, because, and I was a loner in high school too.
Well, you said you were very shy when you were...
Well, I made myself a loner though. Like with Moon and I, we're just like, we're in our own world.
Really?
Yeah, and we just hung out by just us two. And, some people thought we were like, oh, why are they so weird,
Oh, it's so different,
Yeah, they're always like by themselves. They don't talk to other people and they don't have friends, It's just us two.
It's just us
Yeah,
two.
but it's fine. Who cares, If as long as you're cool with it, like just hang out with people that you like, and you don't have to hang out with them because they're forcing you to,
Exactly.
Yeah. They're not friends if they want you to be friends. If they're forcing you to be friends, they're not friends.
Exactly. How can you force somebody to be your friend?
Yeah.
I don't understand the guys segment.
Yeah.
Whatever, you guys just should become friends. If you're stupid, if you're not stupid, you should know that I'm blackmailing you.
Yeah.
How do you force somebody to be your friend?
Yeah.
Unless you buy their friendship.
Yeah.
Which I see a lot of people do.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen people buy friendships before. There's that one person that always buys everybody everything because they don't know how to like show like their true emotions and stuff. But yeah, I depending on what grade you're in,
threatening.
threatening somebody, it's like, you're gonna be my boyfriend, you're gonna be my girlfriend, or else.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna go out well. So friendship advice: Team A, Team B. Team A for Jane is gonna be drop them.
Yeah.
Team B is gonna be, let's not make trouble, just keep your distance, but be quote friends, like they're asking for. That is for Team A and Team B for Jane. But yeah, we've been trying to give you as much advice as possible. But trust me, even in the workplace, you can't have somebody force you to do anything. Even when you get a job later, if you don't want to do something and you're not good at it, then either the job is not for you, or like nobody can ever force you to do something. You shouldn't be putting yourself into that atmosphere.
And I was like in dilemma, but the reason why I didn't choose B is because I would not even want to be called friends by other people that I'm friends with that person, because that person's reputation is not what I would like to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be called that person's friend,
Exactly. Because people do judge you by who you hang out
Yeah.
with. And you don't think about that when you're younger, but it turns out that it's true as you get older. If you yourself hang out with people who, cause a lot of trouble in school, regardless, if they have a reputation for being, troublemakers, obviously you're going to get that reputation as well. You don't think of that then, but as you get older, you do see people from a third party perspective.
Yeah.
So, Jane, in my opinion, you're hurting yourself more by being associated with them, just like Sooyoon said.
Yeah.
So you're lessening your reputation already because of being friends with them. Anyways, our listeners, vote Team A or Team B for Jane in her situation, and we're gonna find out who takes the win for today. Is it gonna be Team A or Team B? We are gonna listen to some more music though. We've got Untouchable and Kunta on the track with Vain, and we'll see you guys after this with more of our Ugly Truth.
여전히 내 맘속에 배 너의
Story like so attentively. He's just like, dude, touch me. I'm reading. So
there's this one part that I don't really get, but you can help me with that.
So maybe our listeners can help us too.
Yeah.
So the next one is from the UK.
All right, it's from Catherine.
Okay.
One of my friends has been using my other friends to get whatever she wants. In February, I said to this person, "Look, I know you're using our other friends, and can you please stop? That's not what friendship is." We didn't talk for a while after that. But another friend told me that this friend was still using our others, but this time money was involved. Clearly, what I had said a few months ago had gone in one ear and out the other. That was when we decided enough was enough, and this friend agreed that something had to be done. We all live in different parts of the country, so it's difficult for us to be together at the same place at the same time. And we all came to the decision that this is the part that I don't get. We all came to the decision that the friend who she owed the money to was going to ask another person to pay her back, or she wasn't getting the thing that the one friend had paid for. What I'm asking is, how do we get this other person to admit that they used us and she has to pay back the money that she owes? I know that they have said things about me, but I don't really care. They're just making themselves look bad, and I'm just more worried that my friends are going to be affected by this a lot more than I am. Help me.
So I'm guessing, however she's using the friends, I'm guessing that she's saying that she's going to like give them something or, you know, order something for them online. So they're like, give me money so we can, you know, order in bulk. But I'm guessing that she's keeping the money and not ordering or not purchasing the items.
I guess
because it came to the decision that she owed us the money and she was going to ask another person to pay her back, or she wasn't going to get whatever she paid for. So either it has to do with either cosmetics or actually a very similar case happened. Somebody I know. Well, yeah, I still know them. I don't really talk to them, but somebody who's a friend of the family. So it's awkward because it's the friend of the family. It's like the parents know each other. So I kind of know the kids. And at first, the kids who were younger than me, they're like, "Oh, we're your fan. We love K-pop, whatever. We listen to your show." And I was like, "Oh, it's great." They came to Korea and they started getting acquainted with my, you know, friends or people that I knew. And it wasn't so much that I was really, really, really close to those people. It was just people that I kind of hung out with at the time or had time to hang out with at the time. And apparently she kept contact with them. But I was out of contact with them. So they were young dongsengs that I don't really talk to that much, but she kept communication with them going.
I see.
And what she did was, she was just like, all the guys. So let's say this one girl, I introduced all of you, Royal Pirates and her, but it was just one of those things where, you and I don't really get to hang out anyways because you're busy and I'm busy. But it was just one of those days where we ended up meeting up. I took her with me. She got your guys' phone numbers or SNS or whatever, and she kept in contact. She goes back to the States, and she was just like, so she finds out through SNS, like, what kind of stuff you like. For instance, Sooyoon, you wanted these really cool sticks and you posted it on SNS. You're like, "Oh, I really want these sticks." And they're, you know, limited edition. They're a little pricey and you're just kind of like, "Oh, I wonder what I should do. Like, I'm saving up money or whatever." She sends you the gift and she's like, "Oh, it's a gift." But what she did was she would text me and be like, "So, 언니, I just sent Sooyoon these limited edition sticks because he ordered it through me because it was going to be cheaper. He said he was going to send me the money, but he didn't."
Wow, really?
Yeah, so that's what she did. She was telling me, I wasn't even in contact with these guys, but she was just like, "So they're using me." And I'm like, "Okay." So obviously I'm going to call them because I'm older and I'm going to be like, "What's going on?" And they're just like, "Duna, she gave us those as presents." She told us that she was going to buy it for us. We didn't even ask for it. One of the guys got so upset. He actually, he took a picture of all the chats that they.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, and he sent it to me. And she was lying to me. So I'm guessing in this situation, Catherine is noticing that one of her friends is trying to either buy friendship or is using them to get what they need. Or maybe like, "Oh, I need rent for this week. Could you kind of spare me $200? And then they just kind of forget about it. If those friends don't realize that they're being used, you telling them is not going to solve it.
You have to know it for yourself.
You're actually going to cause, I think, more problems if you bring it up.
But I'm wondering why the other friends, they don't have a clue why that they're being used.
True.
Well, but especially when the money is involved, whenever my friends ask me for money, I consider as just giving it, giving it away. So
Exactly.
If you're not gonna think it as that way, I think there's no such thing as borrowing money because
Yeah.
you never know when you're gonna get it back.
Exactly.
So when you borrow a friend money, it's just like, oh, you can just have it,
Exactly.
Yeah. So then there's nothing like, oh, he used me or whatever, no problem there. So.
Which I agree with Sooyoon because whenever somebody asks me for money, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I think that I'm giving that person money and not expecting them to pay me back. That I feel is a little bit more of true friendship. There was a time where I was, I think, $200 short on my credit card bill. So apparently I thought that I had enough money in the bank, but I was $200 short.
I see.
First time that ever happened in my life. And I was kind of upset. I actually called the credit card company out on it. They kept calling me. I'm just like, excuse me, I've had this credit card for like 5 years now. I've been one of your VIPs and you're calling me because of a measly $200. But I understand where they're coming from. My friend loaned me the money.
Yeah.
As soon as I got my next paycheck, I paid her back as soon as I got my paycheck.
Yeah.
But I know that she didn't expect me to pay her back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more so if Sooyoon asked me for him to borrow money, I would just not accept the money back, but I would ask for the friendship or the trust where if I ever gotten in that situation and I asked him for money, he would also, extend the gesture.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would think about. So Catherine, you might be getting a misunderstanding of the money involved friendships. I'm not sure.
Or maybe those friends really expected it back, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but you have to voice that though. If you don't voice it, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think this happens in Korea a lot. And the reason is because in Korea, there is a little bit of a culture where just like, no, it's okay. no, it's okay. And the adults tend to do this.
Yeah.
So adults, whenever you give them allowance, like your grandma or your grandpa, your parents, they're like, 아니야, 됐어.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. No way, no, don't give me.
Yeah.
And then you give it to them, and then they go to their friends. And they're like, guess what? My daughter just gave me allowance. She just got her first paycheck. And she did this and she did that.
Yeah.
So there's oh, no, you don't have to in different cultures.
Yeah.
But actually, not too long ago, my mom got really upset because one of our family friends, my mom said no, and she really didn't give her money. So the family friend took it literally, and they're just like, "Oh, okay." And so they didn't pay for their haircut. And my mom called me, and she's like, "How could she?"
Yeah.
She didn't even pay. She didn't respect. I'm just like, "Mom, you said not to pay." She's like, "But still," I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's kind of hard in the beginning to kind of catch that, is that person for real or
Exactly.
is it just like, yay, Yeah.
But I think Catherine, staying out of it is the best
For yourself, yeah.
for yourself.
But I guess Catherine really loves her friends.
Which I would too.
Yeah. But
In this situation, it's especially when money's involved, it's kind of like you butting in a love relationship. So it's like if two people are fighting and you jump in, you're just like, honestly, yeah, you did that wrong. That's like causing yourself to be criticized later on.
Yeah.
So
I think if your friends really think that they're being used, I think eventually they would figure it out for themselves. If they don't, I'm guessing it's their fate. I guess it's just bad for that one person who's using everybody else. That person's gonna get what they deserve, like eventually, and everyone that person is gonna eventually lose everybody, around him or her, So
true.
just leave it as it is, and tell your friends,
Yeah.
try to let them figure out that person's just trying to use them,
Catherine, you have a very mama type of heart right now. But the thing is it's kind of like when people are brought up or bring up the subject of something that's very touchy. So let's say your parents, they say, this is hot, don't touch it. What do we naturally do? We touch it. So Catherine, if you go to your friends and be like, so-and-so is using you, they'd be like, hey, Catherine says that you're using us.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's going to be bad on your part.
Yeah.
So just kind of playing it out, even though you really love your friends and you want them to kind of wake up to see that this is a really bad relationship. Like I said, it's like a love relationship. Even if it's an abusive relationship, no matter what you do, you're the one that's going to get blamed.
That's so true.
Because the person has to understand for themselves.
Yeah.
So I know that you really love your friends. Maybe you can drop hints. I don't know. Send them like news feed updates or like articles that are based on the friendship that they're in right now. But really, if you try to step in, you're going to be considered the reason why they fell out of that friendship.
Yeah.
You're going to be the one that's talking behind everybody's back, going behind everybody's back, and being the one that's, you know, the bad person in the relationship.
Yeah.
So I'd say try to drop hints at the most, but don't get involved.
Yeah.
Don't get involved. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, if by the way, not just for our team A or team B, but for our listeners, if you guys are listening to our stories and you want to also give your 2 cents, you can also do that as well on our message board. And it looks like some of our listeners already are. So for each message, you can also send in your own 2 cents. So please continue to do that. G Stereo is singing 그대 찾아가는 밤, going to see you that night. We're going to see this track and see you guys after this with our last story.
쏟아질 듯 가득히 반짝이는 별들 그대 찾아가는 밤 길잡이가 되네 시원한 바람 불어와 나의 귓가에 그대 있는 곳 가만히 속삭여주네 날 떠나지 말아요 헤매이기 싫어요 날 울리지 말아요 흔들리기 싫어요 바람 불어와 돛을 올리고 밤바다에 수놓인 별을 보며 그댈 찾아가네 바람 불어와 돛을 올리고 밤하늘에 새겨진 별을 보며 그댈 생각하네
Okay, so I was asking for, since we were listening to a nice guitar song, I was like, help me! So I was asking for advice during the song break, and so he was teaching me. So anyways, last story for today is another interesting story from Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's from Valerie. I am an only child of a single mom. I live and work in Hong Kong while my mom lives in China. Ever since last year, she has been trying to set me up with guys from back in China.
Ew. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
which frankly I hate. I know she comes from a good place, but I'm just not comfortable with that. Just last month, she set me up with this other guy, and she has big hopes for this one. I agreed to talk to him online, and then I met with him briefly last week when I went back for a visit. Now that I am back in Hong Kong, my mom practically has been urging me to keep in touch with him every other day. She even gets upset with me not worrying for myself about getting married and feels hurt when I don't sound happy once she brings this up. I'm turning 28 this year, and for her, 30 is the deadline for marriage. For girls, of course. Now, since when is marriage an assignment? When I tell her my plan about spending a working holiday abroad, she calls that unrealistic, while again, marriage should be my priority. What should I do?
All Asian mamas, chill. Mamas, chill. I hope my mom is listening. Mom, chill. Oh my goodness. No, honestly, because my mom is okay. Valerie, you and I are very similar.
Yeah.
Single mom. I live in Korea. My mom lives in LA. And
wow, that's really similar.
Yeah, very similar
situation.
But okay, so up until last year, my mom didn't say much about marriage. But then all of a sudden, my mom is obsessed with me getting married. I'm just like, why? She's like, I had you when I was 28. I was just like, that was 30 years ago. I mean, I love the age gap between my mom and I. And I would like to have that kind of an age gap with my child.
Yeah.
I am not ready to settle down. OMG. And Valerie, I totally know where you're coming from because I don't want to hurt my mom. And I feel that this is more with single moms because if you have your dad around, you can be like, Dad, tell mom to chill. Or vice versa. Mom, tell dad to chill. But we don't have that. And because your mom raised us on our own, you don't want to yell at your mom. You don't want to be like yelling in her face. And you kind of feel bad if she wants something. You want to do it. You don't want to disappoint her.
Yeah.
Moms, Asian moms, chill.
I see this
Valerie.
everywhere around me as well. Yeah. Like all the nunas that I know. You know?
Yeah, Sooyoon as well. Yeah. And it's not just Korean though. I think any of the Asian.
Yeah, any of the Asian. Yeah. Since I'm 26 in Korea, but so if it's like 2 years older, it's already 28 in Korea. So everybody, all the moms, are crazy, and they want their daughter to get married, and they get super stressed out. All the girls that I know, and I think it's kind of unfair for them. They should know when they want to get married. And I think it's not. I think it turns out bad when that happens. When they're forced to get married, usually it turns out bad. From what I have seen. And 30 is not the deadline. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of girls or women over 30s not getting married, and they're cool with it. And they don't look 30. They're like super
young,
fancy and young, and they live young. So, and I would never guess that they're 30s. And so I think that was in the past. Now it's more acceptable for women not getting married after 30s. So I think the moms should chill.
Which I know is never going to happen because moms are never going to do that.
It's hard.
But the thing is I'd have to say that through the generations, it's gotten older. I understand this. If we go back to ancient times in any country, Rome, the US, in Korea even, once a girl hit puberty, that meant that she could have a child. So that meant that she was getting married. So in ancient times, we were seeing that girls were getting married when, at the ripe age of 12, 13, 14, 15. They were having their first child before 16. These days, we think that that's
Illegal.
Yeah, unthought of to have. But society has changed.
Yeah.
And what is the right age to have a child? Now, it is changing, and people do have different perspectives. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking that, and I know where Valerie is coming from, and I think it's even more so that it's keyed on single moms. But and I've never said this to my mom either. I've tried to beat around the bush about it, but it's more so that your parents probably fell in love and it still didn't work out. So putting somebody in a marriage that they're not ready for,
yeah.
do you think that's going to work out in a day and age like today?
Yeah.
Love didn't even last. So is a setup marriage going to last? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Valerie, I'd ask, use your family on your side. I have a lot of aunts on my mom's side of the family. So she has 6 sisters and 1 brother. I use my aunts to my side. So I'm like, Imo, help me. I'm like, Auntie, help me. So use your family to help you. Convince your mom to kind of chill out just a little bit. We need to go back to our first story because actually it's already time for us to say goodbye. We talked a lot today. Ashley, we're going to give the prize to you for advice. Everybody, team A is actually the advice that everybody's going for. Hearing the story, girl, she's not even worth it. Let her turn everybody against you. That just shows who your friends really are. Your true friends aren't. In fact, she would turn on you for a small joke. She really is not your true friend.
Yeah.
So kind of give the go on and do it, because she said that she was in this situation as well. So like we said earlier, kind of put on a persona or attitude where go, fine, do it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And people will lose interest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ashley, we'll be sending you your prize. So name, number, and address. Thank you, Sooyoon. Seems
All right,
so short
thank you.
today.
Yeah.
Seems so short. We're going to listen to Sweet Sarah with Quintana Tona. It's okay to leave, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
이런저런 생각만 많았네요. 내 앞에 쌓인 무거운 부담과 시선들이 때론 너무 갑갑해. 이러지도 저러지도 못하네요. 기다렸던 이 순간을 또 포기할 수는 없어. 이제는 원하는 나만의 자유를 찾으러 가지고 가는 거야. 괜찮아 떠나 그냥 닥치고 떠나 어디든 좋아 모두 훌훌 털어버리고 꿈을 끌어가는 거야. 괜찮아 떠나 그냥 닥치고 떠나 어디든 좋아 그래 멋진 날이 될 거야. 걱정 마 지금 당장 떠나.
One exclusive. Here it is. 2. Now check this out. Okay, fellas. 3. 11. Go.
Next up, Arirang News.
Welcome to Arirang News. This is Sooyoon. Our top story this afternoon, as highly expected, President Park Geun-hye has nominated her close aide and former ruling party floor leader Tae Kyung-hwan as finance minister and deputy prime minister. The former bureaucrat's long-standing experiences in economic policymaking and later in the parliament were highly noted in leading the president's 3-year plan to revitalize the local economy. President Park also named Chae Yang-hee, a computer science and engineering professor, as her science and ICT minister. The nominee's career long-standing contributions to the development of convergence technology and innovative thinking were acknowledged in his nomination. As for the new education minister and second deputy prime minister, Kim Myung-soo, the president of the Korean Educational Research Association, has been named. The educational policy expert is anticipated to play a key role in reforming the country's education system. Chung Dong-sup was nominated to replace Security Minister Kang Byung-gyu, who came under fire for the government's lax management of the April Sewol ferry accident. The reform-minded nominee is expected to actively push forward with public sector reforms. As her Culture, Sports, and Tourism Minister, President Park has named Chung Sung-gun the current president of the Arirang TV and Radio. The presidential office spoke highly of the career journalist's excellent communication skills and understanding of the president's administrative philosophy. Lee Ki-kwon, the former vice labor minister, was nominated as the new head of the same ministry. President Park is reported to have taken note of Lee's field experiences in dealing with management and union negotiations. To replace Gender Equality Minister Cho Yoon-sun, who was named the presidential secretary this week, the ruling party lawmaker Kim Hee-jung was nominated. Kim has previously participated in policy-making related to women and their rights in society. As for the maritime minister, who had offered to resign after the end of the Sewol ferry accident recovery efforts, the presidential office said he will stay put for now. Moving on to the issues north of the border, the U.S. government is planning on replacing its point man on North Korea, Glenn Davies, as Washington's push to denuclearize the regime has made no progress. Multiple diplomatic sources in Washington say the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian Pacific Affairs will most likely be made to the U.S. Ambassador of Thailand. The outgoing U.S. Ambassador to South Korea, Sung Kim, is considered to fill Davies' position. North Korea has received quite an offer from Japan to restart its investigations into the abduction of Japanese nationals in the late 1970s and early 80s. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga said yesterday that Tokyo would lift sanctions against North Korea as soon as Pyongyang launches a special reinvestigation committee on the abduction issue. This differs from the original promise made late last month when Japan promised to lift 3 sanctions against North Korea at an unspecified time. The sanctions include a travel ban between the two countries, a ban on monetary transfers, and a prohibition on North Korean ships' entries into Japanese ports. Korea is getting a step closer to expanding its free trade bloc. Seoul's trade ministry said today that the nation had initialed a free trade agreement with Canada. The two countries promised to do official signing in the second half of this year, and if all goes well and the two nations' parliaments sign off, the bilateral pact is expected to take effect starting 2015. Over the next 10 years, each side will get rid of the tariffs on nearly 98% of the traded goods. Now taking a look at the weather across the country this afternoon. Today looks to be our last rainy day in most regions, including right here in Seoul. Sudden showers are expected, along with thunderstorms and hail in many places until tonight, with temperatures being a tad bit cooler than those of yesterday. The current readings are 23 degrees in Seoul, 21 degrees in Incheon, and 24 degrees on Jeju-do Island. That's all the news at this hour. Stay tuned for more updates, and you're listening to Arirang Radio.
Arirang Radio.
Arirang Radio.
The time is 2 p.m.
Music Access.
What does World Cup mean to you? Something that comes every 4 years, just like the Olympics? Total lack of sleeping because you stay up all night watching the games? Or all of your ideal types changing into handsome soccer stars? The World Cup might mean a lot of different things to you other than what I just mentioned. But for Koreans, the World Cup, especially the 2002 World Cup, which was jointly hosted by Korea and Japan, was a chance for the nation to realize the power of sports. The entire nation got together and became one, rooting for the national team, and saw that they could achieve something. I'm sure we'll be doing that this year as well, even though Brazil is miles and miles away. This isn't just for Korea. Any country that sees the entire nation coming together, hoping for one thing, will see results. Well, the games have begun, so what do we need to do now? Bring our hearts and thoughts together and do our best. And of course, play fair.
Put your flags up in the sky, and wave them side to side, side to side.